Adam Schefter tweeted he thought every Monday or Tuesday until the deadline we would see trades.
Yeah.
That there are 10 to 12 deals that'll happen, and you'll see them between now and the trade deadline coming in on Mondays and Tuesdays. All right? Is today going to bring one? Because one thing about all this trade chatter for the Bills and what they might do at the deadline, how much of our evaluation of what they do or don't do at the deadline will be basically a comparison about what the competition did. Because NHL trade deadline used to be like this, right?
Yeah.
All right, Sabres in the playoff race, and Philly made a trade. Montreal made a trade. The Rangers made a trade.
Yep.
And you look and say, all right, there's a market. Players are getting moved.
Right.
I want my team to make a trade. If this deadline is quiet and the Chiefs don't make a trade for a running back, which you've suggested they might, and I've seen that suggested, the Patriots are after a receiver. If they don't get that, if the Colts don't add wherever they might add, right? The contenders have a choice here to try and bolster and see what they can do. And if nobody does, it feels like the clamor for the Bills to have made a move will undoubtedly be less. Even if you want one, there's not a lot of movement. All right, there's not a lot of movement. It is what it is.
Especially if there are specific players that we are already talking about, or maybe it's a player that nobody knew was available that gets dealt. That happens every year.
Yeah.
And it goes, oh, that guy would have been perfect. And he gets dealt to another team. That amplifies it even more. Like, pick a guy right now in the league. Like, Cortland Sutton. There's no reason to think he would be available. He gets traded. Oh, what? Or maybe a corner would be a better name for that.
Yep.
Just whoever it is. Because, if it's, a couple of offensive linemen get dealt, and that's a lot, like the biggest trades in the league are O-linemen and tight ends. I don't think anybody's going to be
There's just
worried around here.
Don't have a need for that.
But if there are good corners, safeties, receivers, maybe even linebackers that are getting traded.
If Jeffrey Simmons moves, even though the Titans say they won't deal him,
then, that's going to get met with, why didn't I do that?
Why wasn't I involved?
Why couldn't I do that? Why did I make an offer, maybe?
Yeah. I'm thinking about the Olave idea, which seems to be a very popular one out there, and he's a great receiver. I mean, first-round pick, 11th overall. He's had concussion problems, but he's a target machine there in New Orleans, and he's great. That draft class of receivers is kind of going to lead me to a point about Keon Coleman, if you will. So here, just go with me for a minute. That draft class of receivers is Drake London. He's not going anywhere.
And he's awesome.
Garrett Wilson, he already signed.
Yeah.
Right? Jameson Williams was right after Olave.
There's been trade rumors about him once in a while, but he's under contract now?
I thought they re-signed him.
Okay.
But maybe not.
But there was rumors about him like going into the draft, and then nothing ended up happening.
He signed a 3-year, $80 million extension.
All right, so he's good now.
He's signed. Yeah. Olave is not signed. Jameson Williams signed. Then there's Jahan Dotson.
Not a great player.
Non-factor. Treylon Burks. Non-factor.
Horrible player.
Non-factor. And that's just the first round.
Okay.
And it's got me thinking about Coleman to a degree, because that's the 2022 draft. It is 2025, right?
Yeah.
So it's not that many years where we kind of know. Treylon Burks, you knew what that was going to be, how that was going to go. I wonder where we are this offseason with Coleman, and if he could be moved, if he's going to show them in the next 10 weeks he's worth the investment they've made, or I really wonder about it. You get a lot of people talking about how he's miscast, he's in the wrong position, they're not putting him in the best spot to succeed, and that was always something you could kind of get away with when you scored 30 a game. When you have 2 weeks in a row, you score 20 and 14, all of a sudden the things that look wrong, the sirens go off a little bit louder. So they've got to get him going or decide to get him out. Right? Get going or get out.
Because just having him on the field, again, like, I don't even like the temptation of him being out there for those jump balls. Like, if Tyrell Shavers is out there playing his spot, I might not be getting any more added value. But is my added value that Josh isn't tempted to chuck a 30-yard pass or a 20-yard pass right off the snap to a tightly covered Tyrell Shavers? Is he throwing those passes to him the way he does to Coleman?
I don't think so.
Because those feel like wasted plays almost every time they happen. And am I not getting fades to Coleman in the goal line? Right? Because, I'm I'm at a point where I would just take having that be eliminated. And if having it being eliminated is he's not on the field, so now Josh isn't going to go for that pass, and I'm going to do something else, it's a better play, then I would just settle for getting him off the field, especially in those situations. So, is he miscast? The problem is Shakir blocks the spot where you might think he's at his best, which is why it's just never really felt like a perfect fit. If the people that believed he's a big slot were correct, which more and more that looks to be true, it just doesn't fit. Because now whenever I want to get him the ball or I want to get him involved, I'm taking Shakir off the field.
No.
And do I want to be doing that for Coleman?
Joe Marino the other day checked some of Coleman's splits and like advanced stats in the slot, and it's not much better. Like his win rate, winning routes, has not gone well in the slot either. So they got to figure it out. They came into the season challenging him. He already had a disciplinary issue, and like here we are. So anyway, Steve in Texas. Hey, Steve. Good morning.
Hey guys, this was kind of following up on your discussion earlier with the Lions and some of the fourth down stuff. I'm not trying to go for it on every fourth down guy, but I was watching that Atlanta game and they punted from midfield in the first half. I think it was like on 4th and 3, and maybe they were at the 48, and Josh jogs off the field. The other team is going to run 4 plays, and they're going to be right back to where you punted from. You might as well save some clock and at least go for it. And I think just with Josh and the offense and him getting a rhythm, I think it opens up your playbook more on 3rd and 6 where you can run, and maybe Josh doesn't feel like I'm okay if I don't take a shot right now, or I'm not going to pick up the 4th where he can check it down and maybe somebody gets it, or they get to a 4th and 1 and they go for it, and they just use all 4 downs. All the rules of the game are for the offense. Like, you're at an advantage keeping your offense on the field. And especially with how bad this defense is, I would rather strategically see them play when they get between the 40s. Okay, we're going to use all 4 downs. It's okay to throw it short or run something a little different just based upon what the defense is giving them.
Yeah. Thanks, Steve. In that Atlanta game, so like I went ahead and Ben Baldwin said about like running the advanced numbers on when you should go and when you shouldn't. I ran it just for the Atlanta game, and there were 3 opportunities to go when they should have, and they went for 1 of the 3. Which, like to me, it's just, I don't know. It's nuts. It's nuts to me because that game represented a lot of things in Atlanta. In Atlanta, it was not just that Allen didn't play well, they couldn't protect this and that, the defense had a problem. McDermott uncharacteristically punted when he normally goes.
Right. I think, though, he did that because Allen was having a bad game and because his offense was playing very poorly. He didn't.
That's fine.
He didn't trust his offense to get those 4th downs.
I understand. There's a reason he changed what he did.
Right.
There's a reason the Lions never do. Right? The Lions say...
Yeah, they don't care how their offense is playing.
They say we know what's right.
Yeah.
Process.
But that's why I've always felt that's been a difference between McDermott and Campbell.
That's right.
I feel like Campbell goes for 4th downs because that's a philosophy of his that he thinks works. I think McDermott goes for 4th downs just because he trusts Josh Allen. In that offense. And when you lose that trust, he stops going for it. I think if Goff is having an off day and the offense isn't maybe playing to their standard, I think they're coming from different places in how they reach. I'm a guy who goes for it on 4th down all the times. I think their motivations are very different.
To give you a number,
it's a guess because McDermott's really never said, has he? Like
how they decide?
Well, because he's talked about like how they have people that are in his ear up in the booth, but like I don't know, it feels different than what the Lions do. Even though, again, like they end up being 2 of the top coaches in the league at this.
Well, this year, where are the Bills on how often they should go for it?
I don't think they're one of the top 2 teams.
They're not.
No.
They're definitely not.
I mean, the Atlanta game really tanks that, I think.
But again, there's the rate you should. How many chances have you had to do this? Anyway, the Lions go for it rate when they should is above 85%.
Yeah.
And the Bills this year are right at 50.
Okay. Yeah.
At 50 is directly because of the 2 he should have gone for. If he goes for the 2 in Atlanta that he should have gone for, He's right up at the top. They've only had like 6.
Right, because they're normally, I think, in the 70s.
They're normally at the top.
Yeah.
And that Atlanta game was an example of scared off by something, scared off by your defense, scared off by your offense, scared off by it being 3 yards instead of 2 yards. Again,
maybe he doesn't trust the play that Joe Brady's going to call. We're gonna get 2 weeks ago. He tried to hand the ball off to Khalil Shakir up the middle.
That's right. I don't want to get cute, and that's where
I don't know.
Listen, everybody's got their own answer to like the analytics, the numbers of it, and isn't the most popular answer? Oh yeah, I look at that, but each game is different. Right,
right.
It's the
but not Campbell. Right, Campbell's is the anomaly on that.
Right, Campbell is the one that just flat out says like I know what's right.
Right,
I trust it. I trust all of it, and that's why when they're playing a game last night, like look at that game, they just go for 4th downs. They just go and they get him. It's very routine. So
yeah,
if the Bills had gone for those 4th downs and not gotten them, is the game any different? If they go for them and get them, those are 2 possessions that are extended in a game you lost by 2 possessions.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of the strangest things about that game. We could say a lot of things are weird in that game. The kicking in that game, just punting away, just very odd. In midfield.
Yeah. Do you have right there like how McDermott is in the postseason at this? Because I think my thought is that while maybe there's a game or 2 every year, or maybe the Atlanta game was that uncharacteristic, that I'm going to once in a while get McDermott maybe going a little conservative in those situations. I don't know, like, hasn't he proven since the first AFC Championship game where he was kicking field goals to go down 11 or whatever?
Sure.
Since then that he's been pretty good in the playoffs at this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much so. So, okay, I've got that for you here.
Because that's really what matters most here is, do you trust him to get it right in the playoffs?
If I go 2021 to 2024, I mean, it depends how far back you want me to go.
Since that, so yeah, 20, perfect, because that's
21.
Since everyone acknowledges in that AFC Championship game, he was way too conservative.
Yes.
So since then.
So if you ever want to do this, by the way, I can give you the website. Like, if you want to do this, I have the 2020 postseason.
Yeah.
Isolated. Go to the website rbsdm.com. That's Ben Baldwin's like scraping data, whatever.
Yeah.
In the 2020 postseason, the Bills, on percentage of 4th downs they should have gone for.
Yeah.
The way this is usually defined is you gain or lose 1 point of win probability, and the chances to win the game are between 20 and 100%. So this isn't 4th down.
It doesn't include garbage time. You're down by 50.
Right.
Yeah.
In the 2020 postseason, they went for 25% of the 4th downs they should have.
It's horrible.
25%.
That's really bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is very bad. Since then, in the postseason, just since then, 80%.
It's like great.
Yep.
Yeah.
80%. So if you in the playoffs, yes.
Yeah.
80%. Where are they this year on this? Because, again, you wanted postseason.
Right.
The last 4 postseasons, 3 postseasons, 3, 4, they are 80% go for it when they should. In this football season we are in right now, they're at 50. And that's...
I guess, though, I would say I care more about the 80.
You should, of course, care more about the 80, but it kind of gets to the process of it, which is if your process says in the most important games, do this, and then you should always do it. You're just week 6 in Atlanta,
right?
Thinking, I don't feel good about it. What are you worried about?
All right.
This game actually means less. What are you protecting? What's your vibe?
Right.
So, I don't know. Maybe, again, most important about this maybe is the Bills don't have the exact same numbers that this Ben Baldwin site does. Every team might run their own simulations, might all that stuff. But by the Baldwin comparison, they got really conservative against Atlanta, and it was out of character.
They probably have a different standard, too, for when you should go for it. Because one thing that actually... Hasn't McDermott even said this before? That 4th and 2 and 4th and 3 are very different for him?
Yes.
Was it the Ram game last year?
It was the Cardinal game last year.
The Cardinal game.
When they kicked a field goal of death instead of going for a 4th and 3.
Right. And that he had said that if it was 4th and 2 that it might have been different?
Yep.
Because sometimes in those numbers, 4th and 2 and 4th and 3 are not always that different.
Right.
But maybe in McDermott's mind it is.
And at that site that I use all the time
their own
for
process.
these graphs and these numbers for all this, they have a different part of it that looks at your individual 4th and 2s and 4th and 3s and all that.
But again, like part of why I think, and this is maybe what they want to figure out between now and when the games are the most important is
what's your best play for automatic 3 yards?
When you are on 4th and 3, what's your play right now?
Yeah.
Like I wonder if they don't go for it in Atlanta because McDermott doesn't like any other options.
Right,
what are they going to do?
What's our best play?
Right. I mean, have Allen run it. I don't want to do that in week 7. Am I going to do a run on 4th and 3? Because that's never a great idea. Am I going to run a screen? Am I going to do orbit motion for the 10,000th time in an important play? Like, what's my play?
Well, the answer is figure it out because the right thing to do is to go.
Well, because I think the most important, like, to me, you tell me right now, I got a 4th and 3 on a game-winning drive against the Chiefs in a playoff game. I want that ball going to Kincaid.
It went to Kincaid.
I want you figuring out a way to get him one-on-one against anybody. Nickel corner, linebacker, and that's where the ball should be going on like a 4th and 2 or 4th and 3.
Someone was shouting it went to Kincaid last year, Joe.
Yeah, but that's true. That is fair.
Somebody was
that
saying.
Is fair.
I'm just saying somebody out there was saying.
I like the way he's playing a lot more than I did last year.
Sure. And again, he's nursing an injury. David and Wilson. Hopefully all that 4th down chatter wasn't too boring or too in the weeds. You got a call on that. I thought it was a good call. And wanted to lay that out because people always accuse McDermott of being conservative. And in this Atlanta game he was, but in the playoffs he's not. And there has been a clear move towards being more correct in that procedure, and I think he deserves credit for it.